What's going on, you bunch of heathens? Pardon the audio if it sounds weird, but it feels weird to be back. I haven't recorded in 2 weeks because I've been on vacation. And it feels weird to be back. But yeah, forgive the weird audio if it is there. I am now on a desktop instead of a laptop now, so this is fun. Today we are checking out Diary of an Unknown Soldier because this is something you guys recommended because it leads into Lost Battalion, which was mentioned on 82nd All the Way, I believe. So I thought, hey, why not check this one out? I saw that this is a very short one, and it's not really a song per se. It's more like, I want to say almost poetry, but I'm not sure. Or reading. Either way, I can't wait to learn about this. Hope you guys enjoy it. I know I will. And yeah, let's jump in.
I remember the Argonne, 1918.
Oh no,
the
this
sounds
is...
of that battle still haunt me to this day.
Okay, so it's more like, I mean, unless it does go into music, but I'm not sure. It was a lot more like, God, what would you call it? I don't know why I'm blanking on this. Audiobook? I guess? That's the word I was looking for, by the way. Audiobook. It's more like an audiobook.
Machine gun fire from enemy lines. The sickening sound of a bayonet tearing through human flesh. The soldier next to me firing his sidearm in desperation. All these sounds still echo in my mind, and as conducted by Death himself, it all comes.
What is this? One of those MW3... This will put a date, y'all, if y'all have been watching YouTube for a while. Is this one of those MW3... what would you call it? Gun remixes? You know, where they would shoot guns to remix a song?
Together as music. A rhythm of death. A symphony of war.
Damn. Hell of a way to... That cut off really fucking quick. That seems weird, but... Alright, we're jumping straight into the history section now. Hoping you guys enjoy it. God, it's been way too long since I actually... Sorry if I don't feel like I'm talking all that much. It's a process. It's going to be a process getting back into this. God. I will say this, though. I did miss it. I missed recording for y'all. Like, y'all left so many recommendations. And yeah. Y'all left so many recommendations, and I felt kind of bad that I couldn't record them all. Or, like, do anything like that, because everything, 2 weeks pre-recorded. You could tell by the end there, like, if you go check out the Brew video, where it's the Olympic skier who went into become a FBI top 10 wanted. That video was the last video I recorded. So I recorded them all in a single batch. You could definitely tell by my voice just how tired I was. And yeah. Either way, let's move on to the history section.
Idel.
And I'm Pat from Sabaton.
And this is Sabaton History. Now, this is
How to
going
do
to be
that?
a little...
And I'm Pat from Sabaton.
And this is Sabaton History. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a different kind of episode. Normally, we pick one of Sabaton's songs, and I talk about the history, and then we do an interview about that. But today, we're not doing that, right?
Today, it's not actually a song. It's an introduction. And
Ooh,
today,
okay.
it's the Diary of an unknown soldier.
Diary of an Unknown Soldier. Now, before we get into the history part, I'd like to say a big thanks to World of Tanks. Now, this is not a sponsorship or a collaboration or anything, but as you might be able to see, we're not in our regular studio in Bavaria because he's going off on tour of Russia, and I'm not going to be filming there for a couple of weeks, so we had to find somewhere else to shoot. So we are in Minsk. I came down to Minsk from Stockholm, and he's got all his friends at World of Tanks, and they said, yeah, you can use our studio, which is really cool. So big thanks to World of Tanks. And
That
now,
is
Diary of...
that is actually really cool, and I feel like I've seen them record in this studio before. So they must have done at least a few here. That's actually so cool. Hats off to that. World of Tanks. I'm not a fan of your game, but y'all wargaming, y'all just seem really fucking chill. So yeah, I'll give y'all that.
Soldier.
I remember the Argonne, 1918. The sounds of that battle still haunt me to this day.
Who'd they get to voice this?
Machine gun fire from enemy lines. The sickening sound of a bayonet tearing through human flesh.
Oh, I wonder if they're just gonna replay it all.
A soldier next to me.
I mean, 51 seconds might as well at that point.
A rhythm of death. A symphony of war.
The dance begins.
What was that
From
from?
1,000 guns came endless howling, crashing, and banging. Great flashes lit up the sky as the earth trembled under crushing blows. Then came the screams of the dying. Dear God in heaven, let this morning be past. Pulses racing, each man held on in the jaws of hell, and we stood firm, shoulder to shoulder, but the enemy kept bringing up fresh troops. Our little band kept shrinking. The deadly hail of lead tore first one, and then another of us away. We melted away like snow in summer. All around us was death and flames. This quote is taken from a diary of a soldier from the Great War. I know his identity and which army he served with, but reading it, you have to ask yourself, does it matter? Could
No,
this
it
not
really
be the
doesn't.
Experience of so many others, of thousands, of hundreds of thousands of frontline soldiers. Does it matter?
Like
if it was on
millions
the
at that
Western
point.
Front, in the Isonzo Valley, the Carpathian Mountains, Palestine, Galicia, or in Africa? Millions of men on all sides went out to fight the war of wars, only to lose their lives. Many simply vanished, never to be found again. Their bodies sinking in mud, water, sand. The death toll
God, what a
of the German Empire,
hell of a way to
the
fucking
Ottomans,
go.
Austria-Hungary, France, Russia, everyone. They all lost millions of men to the war, resting in long rows of graves. But many of
that's
those
fucking
graves are
grim.
empty or are filled with the remains of someone who has never been really identified. The British Empire lost around 1 million men. Almost half of them were listed as missing at the time of the armistice and were eventually presumed as dead. 170,000 of them were never found, never identified. They are...
That makes me wonder. I wonder if some... I mean, this is kind of a taboo subject when talking about military and whatnot, but I wonder if some of them deserted and just went off to go live in the French countryside, you know? There had to at least been a few and just never went home even after the war ended.
They are the lost. They lie somewhere, perhaps in unmarked graves, or their remains might have been dumped with others in a shell hole, or were strewn to the four winds by the violence of war. For the relatives, this was an unnecessarily cruel fate. Their loved one had given up everything for his country, his life.
Yeah, and
his
we don't even
future.
get the body
And
back.
now he didn't even have a final resting place. Devoid of any closure, all they knew was that he had gone missing, presumed dead. Where had he died? What were the circumstances? Was it quick, or
That dude's...
where had he died? All they
Holy
knew
shit, was
he had
that it?
gone
Was that
missing,
dude hit?
presumed dead. Where had he died? What were the circumstances? Was it quick?
I can't tell if he got hit or if he
Or maybe
disappeared
he didn't
behind
die
the...
and he'd been captured. Or he lay in
Behind the
some
smoke.
hospital long forgotten. Who could say? If a rank-and-file soldier died, it was often just a simple stock message that was sent out, that he was a good soldier, admired by his comrades, that his death was quick and painless. This, of course, helped little to ease the pain. Even after the war ended, the streets were always full of women wearing full mourning dress, all in black, shrouded in long veils. They were tragically withdrawn.
I mean, you said it didn't really help, but honestly, you could also kind of say that it did help, considering the alternative was hey, he died in pain. Hey, we don't know if he's actually dead. He went fucking missing, and we're presuming him dead.
Drawn from the rest of the world. For Great Britain, this was problematic. Their dead lay on the continent, in Belgium and France, and it was debated if they should bring the bodies back to bring closure to the families. At the end of 1915, the French government had made the promise that it would provide a permanent resting place for all the French war dead. Every French soldier would have a gravesite after the war, paid by the government, and Britain had soon followed suit, preparing to buy land in France and Belgium in perpetuity. But such a promise was easily made during wartime. Now it was time to make good on it, and the politicians hesitated.
Don't
Meanwhile,
fucking hesitate,
people
you
began
pieces of
traveling to
shit.
battlefields on their own, searching for a sign of their loved ones or a hint of their final resting place. Whole tourist groups went to the last known battle areas to find some sort of a clue, or at least a token or memento that would remind people of their existence. What they encountered were many graves, whose descriptions read nothing more than a soldier of the Great War. Nearly every family began to have some sort of small shrine in their home, and many local communities created memorials of their own. But for many politicians, such individual forms of remembrance were seen as a growing and dangerous disconnect between the grieving families and their government, so it was time to act. At first, Britain created the cenotaph in 1919, a large monument in Whitehall that in itself signified a symbolic tribute to honor the glorious dead and the unknown comrades of the war, though the term comrades would soon be changed to warriors because of comrade being tied so closely with the Russian Revolution. The term cenotaph stems from the Greek words kenos and taphos, meaning empty grave, and was specifically meant to be with no decorations and with no glorification. But the empty tomb was, after all, just that, an empty tomb. Despite its strong aura, people felt something was missing. Then the French announced their plan to honor their unknown soldier, their poilu inconnu, by burying the remains of an unidentified French soldier at the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. The British agreed to do something similar.
God, yeah, I forgot about that. France also has a Grave of the Unknown Soldier there. I remember reading once, I got pissed at this headline that some fucking tourist want to say peed on the grave or on the fire that's lit there or something. Don't quote me. I can't remember, but I want to say I read like a headline like that.
Deciding that the remains of a British unknown soldier should be exhumed from the earth on the continent and carried back to Britain. He would be an ambassador, a symbolic representation for the dead that never came back, that were still somewhere out there. His funeral was planned for Armistice Day 1920. On November 7th, 1920, 4 field ambulances drove to one of the 4 main battle areas of the British Army on the Western Front: Arras, the Somme, Ypres, and the River Ain. Their instructions were kept secret, but they were each to find and exhume a British soldier buried in one of the many graves that were simply marked unknown. It had to be a grave with not a single piece of information about who the soldier was, where he came from, anything other than the fact that he was British, not even what circumstances had led to his death. It was deliberately random because the unidentifiable body from the soils of Flanders or northern France was to stand symbolically for every missing soldier. As each party found their body, they put the remains into a sack, loaded it into the back of the ambulance, and drove to the headquarters at Arras. Each ambulance had a different time of arrival that evening, and the men were immediately ordered back to their units after delivery. Then the
No one
corpses
knew.
were re-examined to make sure that they were, without a doubt, British, but had no other marks that could identify them. Then the 4 bodies were wrapped in the Union Jack flag and put in front of a specially made coffin. At exactly midnight, Brigadier General Wyatt entered the chapel. Without any information, he pointed at one of the bodies. That chosen body was laid in the coffin, while the others were quickly reburied in an unknown grave in the nearby cemetery. A French honor guard kept watch over the body all night.
Really? Nice and symbolic, but you didn't even put them back to where they were resting. It's just they were in a nearby cemetery.
As the British filled 16 barrels with earth from French country. The unknown warrior was to lie under the earth for which he gave his life. He was Tommy Anonyme. The next morning, the coffin was put into a carriage, drawn by 6 black horses to the docks of Boulogne. There, French Marshal Ferdinand Foch was waiting with another honor guard to pay tribute to the British warrior who fell in the Great War for king and country. The coffin was brought on board the British destroyer HMS Verdun, and with a salute of the French shore batteries, returned to the British Isles.
This is a melancholy video, huh?
Poilu Inconnu, who was taken to Paris the evening of November 9th. The French authorities had gathered 8 different bodies from the main French battle areas. Initially, it was supposed to be 9, but in one area, it was seemingly impossible to be 100% certain that the remains were solely French. Such was the devastation on that battlefield that French and German bodies were intermingled even in death. Now, it was never revealed what area it was, although rumors say it was Verdun, but those are rumors. Early on November 11th, the British unknown warrior was draped into a special Union flag, one that had served as altar cloth at Vimy Ridge, at Ypres and Cambrai, and prepared for his final journey. A steel helmet, field webbing, and a sidearm was placed on the coffin, and the carriage made its way through London towards the cenotaph in Whitehall. It was a funeral procession worthy of a field marshal, but it was also simple, without fanfare or celebration. All of London was quiet.
Yeah.
Silence fell over the...
I'm glad he mentioned that, because that was something I was going to bring up. It is so odd how quiet everything is. Like, it is so odd to me. I get a little misty watching this. Like, holy shit.
City like a shadow as the carriage moved slowly through the main streets. All along its route, people stood and watched. At precisely 10 minutes to 11, the carriage halted, and King George stepped forward, lay a bouquet of red roses, the commemorative symbol before poppies took over as such, and a wreath of bay leaves on the coffin. The note on the wreath read, "In proud memory of those who died unknown in the war." The overwhelming, oppressive silence was interrupted by the 11th hour as Big Ben struck. Life in all of London, all of Great Britain, all of the Empire ground to a halt. Everywhere, people stopped what they were doing.
That is very...
and turned to their inner thoughts and prayers. Similar scenes were reported from outside the Empire in France, Belgium, Portugal, Italy, Germany, Austria, many other countries. What followed was the great silence of 2 minutes. The first minute was to remember those that fought and came home. The second minute was for those that did not. For everyone
I heard
who
of
was
that.
missing a father, a son, a husband, a brother, or a friend, the man inside the coffin of the unknown warrior represented hope. But not only in what he symbolized. His anonymity meant that there was the slim chance that it actually was that person. This man could be that missing son, father, or brother. This made the coffin of the unknown warrior such a powerful memorial.
It was everyone.
Both the cenotaph and the
That
tomb of
could
the
be
unknown
our
warrior
family.
became cherished
And
symbols
he
of
is our
commemoration.
family.
People had places to mourn and to put their minds to rest. Every year, they attracted thousands of pilgrims and tourists from Britain and the Commonwealth. And each Armistice Day,
Okay. I was about to ask a stupid question, but it needed to be asked. Because I never hear anything about this memorial. Like, I've heard of the French one. I know of the American one, obviously. I didn't know anything about this one. And I never hear people talk about it.
were the center of remembrance. To this day, they are still here to remember the unknown soldier, he who fell in war and never made it back home.
So this introduction was necessary because we have the song Lost Battalion, where we are not using a proper drum kit. We're using what we call the War Machine drum kit.
Yeah, we saw that in
the Lost Battalion.
Yeah.
Joachim was talking about this one,
Yeah.
and how he
Yeah, we haven't
used
checked it
the
out yet.
sounds to create a drum kit. But we
That's
needed
a Wednesday
to explain
video.
it also to the listeners. So we were looking for somebody to explain what these sounds are like and to get a little bit of a story into it.
Can we hear the individual sounds now? Do you have them?
Of course we have.
All right. This is really cool. This is the best thing about this channel is we get
I stand by this. That sounds like an MW3 edit remix.
to do stuff like this. Wow.
All right. We wrote a story and we had our old friend Jon Schaefer from Iced Earth
Yeah.
to record it for us to explain. And
Dude, he
says
has an
that
amazing
this-
voice.
the
Thank you for
sound
telling
of
me who it
machine
was.
gun, and he said, and then we introduced the sounds.
Okay.
Then we had a little bit of a tricky situation. What do we call the intro? Do we call it Intro to the Lost Battalion? No, we don't. So we called it The Diary of an Unknown Soldier.
Yeah.
And then, again, what is an unknown soldier? Well, there was a lot of them in World War One.
Yeah.
When we were discussing writing songs about World War One, we thought about having a song about unknown soldiers from everywhere. But in the end, we have this intro.
Yeah, but
to
it's
start the
cool.
song.
But what did he think about it when you guys did
Yeah, I want to know what he
Jon,
thought.
he was excited as hell
Yeah.
because he was like, for him, guys, I already thought about making a drum kit out of war sounds, but I haven't done it yet. So
Oh,
you
that's
guys
cool.
raced
That's
me to the
cool.
finish before me. That's what he said, and was like super excited of doing it. And I think when he sent back the recordings that he had done with it, it was done with good passion. He
Yeah.
has a powerful voice.
Yeah, he
fitted
does.
very well.
The voice
we
was
grew up
amazing.
listening to his music.
Yeah.
So it feels pretty cool to have him as part of us now when he is doing this. And it was
That is cool.
it's a little dream from childhood.
Yeah, but one thing though, when you said you were thinking of maybe writing a song about the unknown soldier, and then it became the intro. If you were at some point, I'm not saying you should, I'm just saying if you were at some point to write a song about an unknown soldier, would you make up the life of someone who died? Do you think, or would it be sort of a tribute to all the unknown soldiers? How do you think you'd attack it?
Either we would probably do it by receiving somebody's statement,
Yeah.
diary, for example,
Sure, yeah.
or somebody's real proper story, or we would have to do it in a general, so to say.
I was gonna say it seems more likely that they would get a actual diary, write a song from those experiences, because making just making someone up for it doesn't seem like a Sabaton thing to do. And I'd like that they're talking about that. It's either going to be a actual very specific person who we got the actual an actual source from, or we're going to make it about every
take
unknown
it
soldier.
from a general perspective about all the people that were unknown.
Yeah.
We might return to it one day.
I also think it's nice to, as you can see, to branch out the channel a little more and broaden the things we're covering. Of course, we'll still be covering the songs, but there's going to come a day when we run out of the songs,
And we are having some ideas about. I mean,
And I'll be-
obviously now this is not really us.
I mean, honestly, I still got a long way to go through all your guys' music, but that's definitely going to be There.
Song, but it has a
Also, Mr. Cap, I think. Do not worry, I will get to I Emperor. I've seen your comments. Trust me.
story to it that we wanted to tell. So that's why we choose to also include Diary of an Unknown Soldier.
Now, with I forget exactly which episode, but it's one that's already come out with Joachim, and we talked about. He said, if you have any ideas for things that you would like us to cover that are Sabaton related and history related, but it's not an individual song, please write to us in the comments and let us know.
That'd be cool
Yeah,
to see a
because
deep
we are
dive with
Super
him.
excited to get also your feedback about what we can do with the Sabaton History channel in the future.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, that is it for today.
This is
We'll
really
see you
cool.
next time.
This is just really
Here
cool.
on Sabaton
As
History
always.
channel. Thank you everybody for watching, and thank you everybody for supporting. And those who don't do it, click the bell, subscribe, and become a patron.
Liking
Thank
that
you very
shit.
much.
Thank you for making it. This was, as always, a fun time to check out. Links to the originals down below, as always. Happy to be back. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, you guys take care of yourselves. See ya.